Okay, so now I think we're gonna go ahead and get started. So hi everyone. Thank you for joining in our session one with CareerSpring. We have here Martin. So before I go ahead and introduce him, so CareerSpring is a free platform for students to utilize, and we do have an amazing partnership with them. We're also thrilled to be giving out gift cards and scholarships tonight. As a reminder, only Fulfillment Fund students are eligible. And also, we would like to thank our generous scholarship sponsors for the evening, Sony Pictures Entertainment, Core Mark International, and Phil Passion. We appreciate your support. By participating in the chat or engaging, you'll be entered to win a gift card. I just wanted to let you all know that. Okay, perfect. I'll go ahead and introduce you to Martine. Just a little bit about himself. Martin was born in Toluca, Mexico, and grew up in Cobb, California. As an immigrant, education played a pivotal role in his life and led him to attending Georgetown University. Through his participation in various Latinx organizations, Martin advocated for various diversity-based initiatives and developed a passion for supporting first-generation, low-income college students. During his time in Houston, he served as an elementary school teacher and college advisor for students in the Third Ward, Gulfton Spring, and Spring branch areas. As one of the CareerSpring's job placement managers, Martine get the pleasure of supporting amazing candidates along their employment journey by connecting them to high-quality career opportunities with CareerSpring employment partners. So let's introduce to Martine. Welcome, Martine, and we'll go ahead and take you from there.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, everybody. Can everybody hear me clearly? Okay, there we go. Wonderful. As was mentioned, my name is Martin Rincon. I'm one of the job placement managers here at CareerSpring. Today, I'm going to talk to you all a little bit about our platform, the benefits of it, and always open to any questions. I'm seeing a lot of universities inside of the chat. So I'm really excited to a lot of universities and a lot of individuals participating, which is always great. Keep any questions in mind. As was mentioned, I've worked within College Access and then also with persistence and job placement. So definitely excited to share some of my knowledge. In terms of what I do, right? So before I get into the presentation, as a job placement manager, my job is to support our different candidates that are on the platform through our various free resources so that you have the best chance at applying to different opportunities. Really, my main goal is to find opportunities for our candidates. After I find different opportunities for our candidates, we do pre-screening. So during those pre-screenings, we search for specific qualifications that we're looking for each of those opportunities. And if you are a qualified candidate, then we have the possibility of forwarding you over to those employer partners. So with that in mind, I am going to talk to you all a little bit more about how to maximize the platform and a couple of tips and things that I see frequently whenever I am reviewing different types of resumes. So in order to get started, I am going to start off by presenting our slideshow. One quick second. Let me get to that now. And again, if any questions do arise, please let me know. All right, so let's get started. So CareerSpring is a nonprofit. Can everybody see my screen? Has it come up or not yet? Yeah? Okay, wonderful. So CareerSpring is a nonprofit that empowers first-gen and low-income students and graduates with career information and skills, professional networks, and employment opportunities through a free platform. The CareerSpring platform is free, so everything that you utilize on our platform is free to use. I know that it sounds like a scam, but I want to guarantee you that it's not. Every single thing that we provide you is free, thanks to a lot of our employer partners and different supporters that want to ensure, that we are bringing them top talent. With that in mind, anybody that's first gen or coming from a low income background can participate in our program. So if you have a family member, older sibling, younger sibling, somebody that matches these criteria, then they can also join the platform, which is something that I've really enjoyed about the platform is that, pretty much a lot of individuals do qualify for our career services. Now, here at CareerSpring, we focus on four main pillars. These include career insights and exploration, skill development, networking, and career advice, along with career opportunities. So, today we're going to cover these different aspects of the platform. I'm going to talk to you all a little bit about how to utilize these different aspects to pursue your different professional needs. Now, one of the things that I tell our candidates all the time is that regardless of where you are in that process, if you're still trying to figure out what you want to do in the future because you're a first year, if you already have or if you want to change careers, or if you are really already geared towards a certain pathway, we can pretty much provide any kind of support. Our biggest goal is for you to get hired, right? So whether it's through one of our employer partners or through an individual opportunity that you find for yourself, at the end of the day, the goal is for you to get hired. So they basically use all of our resources to support you with those goals. Now, what can you do on the CareerSpring platform? I'm going to talk through these different services, then I'll show you the platform itself so that you can see what you can utilize on the what you can utilize and so that you know where things are located. But the very first piece is career exploration. I remember when I got to college, I didn't really have a sense of what I really wanted to do, and exploration was definitely important. So, one of the first things that I tell our advisees to do if you're still trying to figure out what is out there is to go into our career interest finder so that you could see the different types of careers that are present just across the world. And then also, we provide a video library where you can watch different videos on the day to day life of these different professionals. So, we actually have different volunteers that have created different videos where they talk a little bit more about what they do on a day to day basis. They talk about what they did to get there. In some cases, they provide a salary range in terms of the type of work that they're doing. And in addition to that, we also provide virtual sessions for you to learn more about different careers. One of the things that I really enjoy about my job, I remember the very first week work, or actually the very first day working here, one of my supervisors told me to post a role on our platform. And as I was reading through the job description, just trying to get a better sense of the type of candidate that we were looking for, at the very end of reading the job description, I thought to myself, wow, like I did not know that this job even existed. So there are a lot of opportunities out there in the world that you may not necessarily know about. So even if you already have a sense of what you kind of want to do, I might still recommend going to the Career Interest Finder, going to the video library, and just seeing what is out there because at the end of the day, we just don't know what we don't know. So definitely be sure to explore different types of careers. Afterwards, we also support you with developing different skill sets. This can include different review guides, different guides on our platform for interview prep. So we have created different industry guides where you can go read a little bit more about what those specific industries need in terms of skill sets, in terms of different information that might be helpful, the types of questions that you might face when you are going into these interviews. And in addition to that, we also provide a different set of webinars where you can learn more about different interview styles. So we do have different sessions on behavioral interviews, on case interviews, and other types of and technical interviews. In addition to those different sessions, we also have sessions where our advisees come in and they talk to you more about their own process, how they found internships and full-time jobs, what it might look like to be a first-gen graduate at your first job. So all of these sessions are there to provide you more guidance and have a better sense of what kind of opportunities are out there. Now, we are going to talk a little bit more about our advisors, and I am really excited to show you all that part of the platform because one of the most important things that you can do is connect with professionals that have done the type of work that you want to do in the future. With that in mind, we do have a special set of advisors called our candidate coaches. Our candidate coaches are human resource and talent acquisition professionals that can support you with the application process. These are individuals that have reviewed a lot of resumes and they have conducted a lot of interviews. Now, one of the things that you will find in the application process that it's pretty unfortunate is that you may not hear from companies in terms of feedback. A lot of times you pretty much just get a decision of whether or not you move forward in the process, but because of different factors, they are not necessarily able to provide you direct feedback in terms of your answers. And with that in mind, we do provide candidate coaches who you can go to and have practice interviews. You can also practice your elevator pitch directly with those professionals so that you get a better sense of, what you need to practice on. One of the things that I tell our candidates all the time is that interviews, pre-screenings, they're opportunities for you to market yourself and to tell the different interviewers why you're the right candidate for those types of opportunities. Now, while it's something that should be very natural and authentic, it's also very important to practice it multiple times. One of the things that I've seen with a lot of our candidates is that, I've had advisees that have amazing resumes, a lot of great experience. And then when I talk to them, they struggle so much to talk about that experience. So that is one aspect that I definitely emphasize for all of our advisees is to practice as much as possible. Uh, Contrary to to this saying, I don't actually think that practice makes perfect, but I do think that practice brings confidence, and that is one of the most important things when you're going into an interview setting. Just because a lot of the ways that companies interview students, it really is meant to kind of rattle you up a little bit. There's going to be this thing called super days that you're going to hear about. You're going to hear about candidates that are going into interviews that, or different interview processes that are 5 interviews, 6 interviews, hour-long interviews, 2 hour-long interviews. And really a lot of that is to, pretty much see how you react in these different settings. So again, it all takes practice. So again, practice as much as possible. I can't emphasize utilizing this resource enough because it is an amazing resource. Now, in addition to that, we do have our advisors as a whole. So all of our advisors at this moment, we have nearly 1,000 advisors. That number keeps on growing. To give you guys a small glimpse, we restarted our process. We shifted over to a new platform a few months ago, and we were at around 1,200, 1,300 advisors. So now, we're getting those numbers up again. And we're really excited to have these advisors on our platform because they provide you with one-on-one networking opportunities for you to talk to different professionals doing the direct work that you want to do. So let's say that you're still in the very beginning process of getting a better sense of what is out there. You can go on the platform, you can search for different professionals, and you can basically search for business, talk to as many business professionals that are out there so that you get a better sense of the minute type of work that they're doing on a day-to-day basis, and that information can kind of guide what you do in the future. If you already have a better sense of what you want to do, then you can kind of get creative with these conversations. Again, the type of work that you're going to be doing is going to be very different between the companies that are out there. So if you talk to, let's say, a data analyst across 6 different industries or across 6 different employers, then you're going to get a better sense of what it's like to work at those individual places or within those industries. So even that knowledge can provide you even more contextual knowledge that then you can use during interview settings, that you can use to network, and that you can also do to refine your application search. One of the things that I did not know until pretty recently was this number that you see at the very bottom. I have always been told that networking was important, and it was something that I've been told since I was in middle school. Every single one of my counselors, every single one of my teachers, my advisors, college counselors, I always heard this is networking is important, networking is important, networking is important. And it wasn't until 3 months ago when we were sitting at a meeting where this number actually came up. So I want you guys to look at that number and I want you to really think about what that number means. One of the things that I do want you all to do pretty quick on the chat, I want you guys to drop something that you've heard about the application process these days. What is something that you have heard about applying for jobs? Or you could also put how you feel about, starting the application process. What are some feelings that are coming up, and what are some of the things that you've heard about applications these days? So let's see. I'm trying to figure out the best way to move this here. Okay, so let me open up the chat. Okay, so let's see what people are saying. A lot of people look through your LinkedIn profile. high referrals and experience is key. They're looking for experience. Volunteering and work is enough. Okay, feeling nervous. Apply to as many jobs as possible and early. He has 500 applicants for an entry level job. He just picks a random 30. Okay, it's hard to get a response. Internships is a good way pathway to full-time jobs and getting hired. Okay, some applications don't even get reviewed. Terrible economy and the tariffs. Okay, it's very nerve-wracking. All right, so uh, I don't even know why I'm here today, right? You all kind of already have all the information that is out there. But no, all jokes aside, everything that you all are saying to an extent is unfortunately true. And I hate to be the person that kind of like confirms that, but having that knowledge, there is a strategy to applying for these opportunities, right? So in today's day and age, the reality is that a lot of industries are extremely saturated. So one thing that you commonly see is that applicants are just throwing out applications and trying to see whatever sticks to an opportunity. So when you think about employers, right, they depending on the employer, if you're looking at like let's say the top 100 companies, a lot of those companies are getting applications not in the thousands but in the millions. So again, it is extremely competitive to apply for these different types of opportunities, and it's important for you to prepare to apply for those opportunities. One of the common things that I see is that applicants apply a lot to different roles. One of the places where a lot of students visit our platform is under the job opportunity section where they get to apply for opportunities. And unfortunately, I don't see a lot of individuals going to this side of the platform where they get to network, where they get to build on their skill sets. Now, what I want you all to think about is that in a pile of 1,000 applications, or let's say in a pile of 10,000 applications. Those applications are at times going through an AI system that automatically is picking out different keywords and qualifications that are already inside of that job description. So the very first step whenever applying to a role is to get a better sense of the direct criteria that are necessary to be a part of that opportunity. Because unfortunately, in today's application cycles, it is very common for a lot of applications to just get tossed to the side because they don't even have the right information on their resumes. I have had applicants that have amazing GPAs that meet the qualifications, but because that one factor is not on their resume, the system doesn't catch it, their resume is automatically thrown to the side. Now, you're probably thinking, like, oh, but that individual had that qualification. Is it possible for them to advocate for themselves? And advocacy is important, but the way that I want you to think about it is that if there is 10 opportunities available for this specific internship and 10,000 students already applied for that opportunity, what is the likelihood that an individual is going to say, oh, wait a minute, let me go see if this individual has that qualification? So the likelihood of that happening is a lot smaller. So the important thing is to make sure that you are ready when you are applying by already making sure that you've reviewed your resume and that you've included all that experience. Now, the other common joke that I see among different social media pages is that how am I expected to get these job opportunities if they're requiring 10 years of experience, right? So there is a lot of experience that is required for a lot of these opportunities. One of the things that you need to know is that that internships, they are learning opportunities, but as in this current industry, they're also more specialized. That means that yes, you want to do accounting, but there's different types of accounting depending on the company that you're working for, and having a good sense of kind of the direction that you want to take will help you stand out a little bit more, because the type of work that you're going to be doing at these companies, you're going to have a direct impact in a lot of cases for that company itself. So a lot of times they want you already coming in with some level of experience. What I recommend for all candidates is to get as involved as possible. Believe it or not, there's different clubs and organizations out there where you can actually get some direct experience. If you want to go into software engineering, There's a lot of robotics clubs present at a lot of universities. There's a lot of universities that host hackathons where you basically are given a task and you have to figure out how to code that specific task, or you're given a set of code and there's a lot of mistakes in it. And with a team, you have to figure out how to fix that code. So that exists for a variety of industries. That exists for finance, where you could be given different financial models or are required to create different pitch decks for different type of private equity firms. There is a variety of things that you can do in college so that you can start building on that experience. So one of the places where as a first year and second year you're going to gain a lot of experience is through that club, through those clubs and organizations. You will build some of your interest through those organizations, and it will also show companies that you already have some kind of skin in the game, that you are demonstrating interest in those specific opportunities. Then the other place where you will get experience, and it's important for you to engage as much as possible, is through your school projects. So whenever you receive your, syllabi for your different courses, I usually recommend that advisees go through that information, get a better sense of the type of projects that you're going to be engaging with, and be sure that you're setting yourself up for success, because those projects will also act as those initial pieces of experience on your resume. So again, your resume for the first year is primarily made up of experiences through clubs and organizations slash experiences that you also have through different projects that you have conducted. So that's the first piece. How do you gain more experience? Is by establishing that experience on campus. Believe it or not, employers are looking for even participation in organizations that are not directly related to what you want to do, because through those organizations you're gaining communication skills, you're gaining recruitment skills, you're gaining skills at times working with budgets, managing your time. And when you're working at a company, you're going to be managing a multitude of things. So it's important to gain those different skill sets. Now, I got sidetracked a little bit, but the purpose of these conversations is to gain a lot of knowledge. I tell individuals, let's say that you want to go into private equity, go on the platform, talk to somebody that's working, well, talk to a couple people working in private equity, get a better sense of how they gained experience in college, and then try to mirror that in your own experience, because that'll guide you a little bit better. The last thing that I will mention about networking is that you never know who you're going to meet. You never know who you're going to have a conversation with. You never know who's going to cross your path. So it's always important for you to know how to tell your story. We're going to cover some of those aspects really quickly right now. So we're going to take a slight detour. Well, I'll show you the last part of the platform and then take a slight detour, give you a presentation on the platform. But the reason networking is so important is because in a stack of, let's say, 10,000 resumes, most of the resumes end up kind of looking the same, right? Because some of the experience is very similar, the skill sets are very similar. The only thing that can distinguish those candidates is some of those qualifiers that an individual might know through previous experience, which means that if I have, let's say the fulfillment fund comes up to me and they tell me, hey, we actually have 10 amazing advisees that have data analytics experience. We've actually gotten to work with these advisees at Fulfillment Fund, and they really helped us manage our data, clean our data, and make sure that this data was used for engagement with other candidates. Great. That's information that I have about those 10 candidates that I don't have about those other 10,000. So all of a sudden, those individuals stand out a little bit more because I have a little bit more information about them. So again, it's important for you to network with individuals because it is an opportunity for you to present yourself a little bit more. And now for the final portion of the platform, we do have what I do on a daily basis, which is present opportunities to our candidates. On the platform, you will have a chance to apply for a variety of roles. On the platform, as I mentioned, I take different opportunities from different employer partners. I post them on the platform, and then I present them to our different candidates so that they get a better sense of what is out there for them. During that process, I go through different qualifiers and I ensure that those opportunities are for recent grads or early graduates and current college students. Now, this is where a lot of our candidates spend a lot of time. And one of the things that I can tell you is that a lot of times I get a lot of applications that are not as tailored. After you apply for a role on the CareerSpring platform, you will meet with one of us so that we can have a pre screening with you. A pre screening is basically a small informational interview where we're getting a better sense of your qualifiers. We're getting a better sense of who you are as an individual. These conversations are important because through this information, we can find other opportunities for you. So let's say that you apply for a marketing opportunity today. I would go over your different qualifiers on your resume, get a better sense of what you're looking for. And then afterwards, if you do qualify, I would reach out, I would have a conversation with you. In that conversation, I would ask you more about what you majored in, why you majored in that, your career interests, and then ultimately the experience that you have. So, really, that conversation is a time for you to present your elevator pitch, for you to present different examples of how you've worked through different opportunities. And through that conversation, we'll get a better sense of your skill sets, what you're looking for, so that when a future opportunity comes along, we can just send you that opportunity. If for some reason, let's say you apply to a marketing opportunity today, 5 months from now you apply to an engineering opportunity, more than likely we would have to have another pre-screening, or I would have to, follow up with a couple questions, just because we probably don't have a lot of context in terms of why you're interested in this new field. But other than that, the process is pretty simple. You apply for the role on the platform, which is showing your interest. One of us pre-screens you. We get information about your interest. Afterwards, we send you future opportunities, and we send you next steps. So next steps depend on the company. Some opportunities will just require us to send your name and resume over to an employer. Others may require you to apply directly through an employer. But again, it really just depends on the opportunity itself. With that in mind, my biggest recommendation is to be sure that you are reviewing these job descriptions carefully, that you're reflecting on your experiences, and to figure out how your experiences match that role. The last thing that I will mention about our platform is that we also have internship programs. CareerSpring has created our Forward internship, which is an internship for rising sophomores and rising juniors. That opportunity is present for our students so that they can gain some experience. So through those micro internships, you will be placed at one of our employer partners, and through that internship itself, you will start gaining some of the skill sets necessary to see what you will to be eligible for future opportunities. In addition to that, you will also get a better sense of one of the most important things, which is whether or not you actually like that career. Believe it or not, it's very important for you to get a better sense of the types of careers that are out there and whether or not you like them, because being stuck at a job that you do not enjoy is not the best thing in the world. So, again, do as much research as possible, get a better sense of what you're interested in, because that would definitely set you up for success in the future. Now, with that in mind, I am going to show you guys our platform and some of the resources that are available to you. And then actually let's take some time to get on the platform itself. So if you have not registered, I encourage you to take out your phones, take a picture of this QR code. We will also send future information. We'll also send this information in a follow-up message so that you all can register. But if you get a chance to register right now, be sure to do that. All you have to do right now is take a picture of the QR code, get started with that registration. It will take, let's say, like a few minutes, maybe 5 minutes to get registered. And once that is done, well, actually a little less. Let's take like 3 minutes to kind of start that registration process. And afterwards, we will go through the platform itself. While we do that, I can take a look at some of the initial comments or questions that are coming up, and then we can kind of go from there. And I will answer a lot of these once we're actually inside of the next portion of this conversation. But definitely be sure to get started on that registration. This is going to be your code FFGrad. But yes, because you are a part of Fulfillment Fund, you do qualify for our services. I heard that there are some individuals that may not be a part of Fulfillment Fund. If you are not a part of the Fulfillment Fund, but you qualify as a first gen or low income candidate, then you can also register for the platform. And let me just review these questions. Let's see here. Okay. Let's see. Great. For a how you heard about this opportunity, you can put that you heard about it through the fulfillment fund slash through me. So it's going to be Martin Rincon. You could see that in the inside of the presentation bubble. I don't know what to call it. Where my picture is at, you'll see my name. You can put my first name as well. And I do see that somebody asked if they're a student athlete, if it's a good opportunity for them. I would say that, as was mentioned, as a student athlete, there are a lot of great leadership, skill sets that you gain through that involvement. So that could also be an initial aspects that could be on your resume. And as I mentioned, right, there is a lot of networking opportunities that are available. So even if you're not currently applying for jobs, but just getting a better sense of what is out there, again, you are eligible to join, and I encourage you all to join because you can gain a lot from being a part of our platform. There's a lot of really small things that I think a lot of individuals don't even consider when applying. So it's important to kind of gain as much information as possible. And one thing that you all will realize as you apply to more roles is that a lot of these networking opportunities give you more contextual information. The passcode will be FF grad, so it will ask you for a passcode inside of the registration page. It's FF grad. Of course. But yes, as I mentioned, there's a lot of contextual information that goes into applications, as simple as being able to say, oh, I know that, ABC organization participates in a lot of volunteering opportunities. Volunteering is something that's very dear to my heart, and I am excited to be at a company that encourages us to volunteer for a greater good. As simple as that, that already tells the company that you've done a little bit of research on who they are, and it automatically, gives your application a couple more points because you've done that research to learn about the company. So we'll give it a couple more seconds. Again, you can finish this registration at a different time, but as soon as you are done with today's activities, be sure to go back to your phone, finish that registration, and start utilizing all of our resources. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start sharing my screen for the so that you guys can see the platform itself. Give me 1 second. It's going to be a little tough. It's right under here. There we go. Okay. So can everybody see my screen on their end again? Yeah? Okay. Wonderful. So on the CareerSpring platform, here you will be able to this is what your dashboard should look like. So you'll see your advisee dashboard here. We also have an app, which is really exciting. If you want to download that, I encourage you to do so as well. Again, if you take 5 minutes out of your day to complete small tasks, it can go a very long way. Under the advisee dashboard, you can see our upcoming events. Under our upcoming events, you will see different opportunities where we have for our candidates to network. We have some opportunities that have been offered to us through different employers and connections where they want to meet our candidates. I have had candidates that go to these different events. I had one particular candidate that got to meet one of our advisors at one of these events. It was a networking opportunity that was hosted by a energy company. Through that connection, that individual actually created a mentorship opportunity with this advisor. After that advisor became their mentor, the next, I believe, for 4 months, they created an internship for that particular individual just because they left such an amazing impression on them that they wanted them to continue gaining more experience. So, again, you just never know who you're going to connect with. So, it is important for you all to prepare for these different conversations. We have other lunch and learns where we have different professionals talk about their experiences. This Quiet the Inner Critic is more for our candidates to learn more about things that may affect them as first gen graduates. But again, definitely be sure to attend these different events. Some of these are in person and some of them are virtual. For our industry panels, we have different professionals that talk about their careers and the things that they will do. So definitely be sure to attend those as well. In addition to that, I'm going to show you where our advisors live. So if you look at network and get advice, Here you can find a couple of networking tips and tools to help you prepare for some of these conversations. Again, they're very low stakes conversations depending on what you are looking for. So when having these conversations, be sure to review this at least once just so that you get a better sense of how to start those conversations. Under that same tab, you're going to be able to search for advisors. So this is where things get fun, and honestly where I think most of our advisees spend most of their time. Here, as you can see, we're at 943 active advisors at the moment. Here we could go to more filters, and let's say that I'm interested in doing something within IT, but I'm still not fully sure exactly what I want to do. I can click on information technology. It will show me the different users that are under this specific industry. And as individuals populate, you will see that we have professionals working at a variety of companies, individuals that have different levels of experience. This can include entry level employees, different individuals that have already retired, people that have started their own companies, people that have transitioned into different roles. And the best part of it all is that you can connect with any of these professionals for free. So, again, I would recommend connecting with as many individuals as possible because, as you can see, they all have very distinct roles that you can learn more about. So, let's say that I go on here and I want to learn more about private equity companies. I could click on an individual, their profile would populate. At times, they have a small section that tells you what they do. They may have an About Me section up here. They will show you their previous educational experience, their previous work experience. And then on the right hand side, you will see how to book a conversation with them. In this case, they want you to message them first and they will propose a time. So in this case, we could go over to send a message. And in this message box, we can include different information about who we are, why we're interested in having a conversation with them. It could be as simple as my name is Martine. I have learned about different business types of opportunities recently, and I recently heard about private equity companies. I'm not too familiar with them, but I've done some small research on them, and I would love to hear a little bit more about your experience working at a private equity firm. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to connecting with you. You could also include a couple times that might work with you, and just wait for that individual to send you a message. Sometimes what I recommend for candidates is to do one follow-up message 2 to 3 days after your initial message, just because a lot of these individuals may be, they also have jobs, so at times they might miss a message, but definitely send them a follow-up message roughly 3 days afterwards, so that you can see whether or not they can meet with you. And that's if they don't respond to one of your messages. But definitely be sure to have as many conversations as possible because, again, you never know who you're going to meet with these conversations. As I've mentioned before, nothing is promised on the CareerSpring platform, but I have had advisees that have found mentorship opportunities, full time roles, and internships just by being able to talk about their story. With In addition to that, if you go over to our develop skills section and you click on resource toolkit, you will see a couple of the resources that we have available to our students. We have resume and cover letter, different types of guides that can help you with that, different interview guides under the industry guides, and then different interview resources. Overall, there's a variety of things that you can do on the platform to help you prepare for different interviews. In addition to that, under that same tab, you can click on candidate coaching, and here you will see different professionals that have reviewed a lot of resumes and they have conducted a lot of interviews. These are our HR professionals and talent acquisition professionals who have this different type of experience. You can click on one of their names. Well, before you do that, you can click on a type of topic. I would recommend for every single advisee to do the elevator pitch working session, the behavioral interview, and if you get a chance to also do the resume review session. So if you were to click on a topic, you will see the different professionals that cover that topic. It can be helpful to look at the different industries because they might be able to provide you industry specific advice. But if they have this topic offered, more than likely you can meet with them just to have a general talk about that type of topic. Again, you can get mock interviews with these individuals. You can have your resume reviewed. You can get a little bit of coaching information on what kind of careers are out there, just depending on what topic you choose. The booking method is the same. You would click on a person's name. You would read a little bit more about that individual in their profile. In this case, you will see that you can send them a message. this individual also has an about me section, so it can be helpful to learn about them before you have this conversation, their previous educational experience, previous work experience, and then on the right hand side, you will see that this professional wants you to actually reach out to them by their booking link. So you would be able to book a conversation with Ana Garcia here inside of their booking link. But overall, the goal with these conversations is to gain as much feedback as possible. These conversations are helpful for you to build on your skill sets and for you to be able to present your experiences. One of the last things that I will mention before I go into the very last portion of of our presentation today is that it's important to network with different individuals, and the mindset that I encourage you to enter these conversations with is with this idea of learning more, right? Have this passion about gaining more information, because individuals get more excited when they're talking to people that are passionate about the type of work that they want to do in the future. One of the things that I tell advisees is that when you go in with that mindset, people are a lot more encouraged to support you and to also provide you with more opportunities. One of the things that I tell individuals as well is that it's important for you to be able to provide some guidance for that professional by telling them why you want to do the work that you want to do and providing them with examples of how you've gotten to that point, which is your elevator pitch. With that in mind, I also tell individuals to not necessarily directly ask for opportunities because, again, these are more knowledge based conversations. The opportunities that do come along will come along through your own marketing and how you present yourself. And one of the things that I do recommend is telling a professional in your own words a version of this statement, which is basically one, thanking them for the work that they've done and for connecting with you. And then the next piece is directly telling them, if you know anybody that could provide me with more knowledge on this industry, the type of work that they do, I would appreciate that connection. Or if you know anybody that has opportunities, I would also be excited to pursue those opportunities. So again, it's a little bit more general while at the same time showing them that you are interested in a particular type of role, and also showing them, more importantly, that you're trying to gain as much knowledge as possible. So again, be sure to approach these conversations in that way. The very last thing that I will show you is how this idea of how to tell your story. In terms of your elevator pitch, this is some information to kind of get you started, and then we'll spend the last 10 minutes talking about any questions. One, be authentic. The authenticity is important, especially with the rise of AI. It is important for you to know your story forward and backwards. Reflect on what you've done. As professionals, a lot of times we don't sit back and think to ourselves like, oh, this is the work that I did today and this is the impact that it had. But it's important to have those reflections because it'll allow you to talk about these experiences and to connect what you're doing right now to what you want to do in the future. Again, preparation is key. Practice does not make perfect, but it does bring confidence. So practice as much as possible. In addition to that, these are some key indicators of an individual asking you for your elevator pitch. They might ask you the question, or they might ask you, so tell me a little bit more about yourself, right? They might prompt you to do that. As you'll notice, that's a prompt that you kind of get at different stages of your life. It's not necessarily just something that you get in an interview setting, but it is something that even happens when you're making friends, when you're just making a simple connection at a grocery store, because again, it is an indicator that that person wants to know a little bit more about you. The most important thing is to keep it high level, to talk a little bit more about what you bring to that job, and to ensure that you're keeping it professional. The last thing that I will say about elevator pitches is that this is pretty much the makeup of an elevator pitch. It is a pitch that covers three main topics and that lasts between 1 to 2 minutes. It is about what you've done in the past. So, the things that you've done, this could include previous experiences. It could also include the initial thing that encouraged you to enter a specific field, where you are now and what you're currently doing, so your current involvement and just where you are at professionally, and then moving forward what you're looking to do in the future. That what you're looking to do in the future should relate back to the company that you're applying for. So again, I've seen this word tailoring a lot inside of the chat, which is really great. You want to tailor what you've done to what you're and how that influence what you're currently doing and eventually what you want to do in the future. So those would be the three main components to think about and reflect on as you are applying to different roles. With that in mind, I open it up for any questions that you may have, and I will just finish the by putting this slide up so that you can have my contact information. But definitely join the CareerSpring platform. I encourage you to utilize all of our resources. Are there any questions that have come up or anything that you guys need help with? Let's see.
Martine, there is a question in the Q&A
Mhm.
about
Okay.
AI. It says, is AI being more useful in terms of looking for jobs, or actual people, like from CareerSpring, are required to utilize better job search? So is it better to use AI to look for jobs, or is it better to use actual humans, like the advisors on CareerSpring?
Yeah, of course. So I would say that AI is a tool, right? So the best way to use AI really is as a tool for your search. So you can go, let's say, to an AI system and ask them, what are some opportunities for individuals that are looking for client-face work? And then it'll give you a list of different types of roles within that type of skill set. And then you could take those roles, go on CareerSpring, find different advisors that are doing that type of work, and then have that direct conversation with them. I mentioned that because one of the things that you'll notice when you have a conversation with people, and this is the key to using it as a tool and something that employers are looking for direct anecdotes. They want you to be very specific when you're applying to roles and when you're making connections to what they're going to be doing. And you don't necessarily get that easily with an AI system, but you do get that as you're talking to individuals about their experience. And the other key thing with those connections that you're making is remember that that can create an opportunity for a referral. So yes, you could start off with AI to give you a better sense of what is out there. Use that information to then search for different types of opportunities. The other thing that I would say for AI, which we are seeing pretty frequently, unfortunately, is that a lot of candidates are using AI during the interview process, and it's actually having a very strange effect where if you are using AI, you're reading kind of what's on there. Unfortunately, a lot of times individuals are not digesting that information, right? So you can kind of use AI to give you a sense of an elevator pitch, but if you don't practice that pitch, if that pitch doesn't necessarily align to your interests and what you want to do in the future, at the end of the day, it's going to again have the opposite effect. And employers can see that. Believe it or not, employers are, they're moving along with the AI industry as well. So they're figuring out ways to realize whether or not you're using AI in that interview process. But as a whole, use it as a tool. Don't just necessarily use it to be the one thing that you do, but use it as a tool as you're searching for roles. That was a really good question. Any additional questions?
I know in the chat it says sometimes at competitive schools, it's super hard to join some of these clubs that are related to our major because they require experience. What do you think is another way we could possibly get involved to therefore join those clubs and then use those clubs for experience and internship opportunities?
Yes, so that's also a really great question. Remember your projects and experiences that you have through some of the direct coursework that you have. I would definitely participate in some of those opportunities. Also, remember that your university is it's not the only university in the world. Right? Like I have had different advisees that have gotten creative. They have visited other universities that are around their area and they've partnered with different universities to work on similar tasks. So that's also a way to gain some experience. Volunteer work through different nonprofits, startups. That's also a good way to start gaining some of that experience. A lot of times, what I see from candidates is that they pretty much just see this. They kind of apply for like for like the meat and potatoes, right? Like the most competitive opportunities. And a lot of times they don't look at some smaller to medium-sized organizations where you could also gain a little bit more experience. And some of those companies are a little bit more lenient towards the type of experience that you might be looking for. So I would say that one, definitely look in other spaces such as other universities, the different types of projects that you're conducting for your individual classes that'll help you gain some of that experience as well. And then again, volunteering, small organizations, startups, small to medium sized companies as well. They may have some opportunities that are a little bit more approachable. The other piece too is that networking is not just a tool that you use for after college. Network with those individuals that are in these organizations that you want to join, right? You're going to be spending a lot of time with those individuals. So don't be afraid to make friendships with older, students at your university, because some of those individuals may also be able to provide you with feedback and that additional referral that might get you through that process.
Perfect. Thank you, Martine. And then we're gonna just do one more last question just because of time. One last question was, are the meetings with candidates an hour or 30 minutes long?
Yeah, so those conversations are 30 minutes long. But again, you can, oh, well, I'll take that back. Some conversations are 30 minutes long, others are 1 hour long. So the interview prep sessions or the mock interviews, those would be roughly an hour. So anything that involves like a little bit more time, they will be an hour long. And also remember that you can book multiple conversations. So you can book another conversation with them if you do want to have another practice interview, or for them to support you with any additional tasks.
Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you so much, Martine, for taking the time to explain these students about CareerSpring. Students, please utilize this amazing platform that Martine has shared. He also shared his email, so please have contact if you have any questions, concerns about that specific platform. I will go ahead and you're gonna go ahead and get like a short survey from this workshop. So just please hang tight. And then I hope you all learned something today about CareerSpring.